Morning, morning. You guys ready to talk about Depin? Let's go. So let's talk Depin real quick, and then I'm excited to share with you guys the different projects that I'm currently into and how they've been going. So Depin, what the heck is Depin? So Depin is interesting. Depin has kind of popped up over the last 3 years as an avenue and opportunity for home miners to step into the crypto mining space without spending a fortune and needing a ton of capital. And second, the operating costs, that electric usage, is significantly lower than anything else out there. And Depin traditionally serves a purpose doing one thing, but then getting paid out in cryptocurrency. So let's go ahead and take a look at my Depin projects, some of the successes, some of the big L's that we've had. That's backwards, by the way. And let's talk about some recent challenges I ran into that I'm overcoming, and I want to show you how. All right, so let's start out over at our crypto mining shed that we have here in the backyard. And we actually have two sheds. The one that we're going to talk about today is the one on the right. So you guys can see we have a variety of different miners up here, all related to Depin actually. And so we're going to run through them. As I go through them, talk about what's been good, what's been bad, what's worked out for me, and ones that I would recommend, ones that are duds, and kind of go from there. So this is actually, the first one is a solar panel here. And actually the way the sun is positioned here, it actually works out well. You can see I have solar panels on the back of the roof there. And I have really enjoyed getting into Depin projects that utilize solar for power. You can see we have two other ones over here as well. So this one is the SolarX Miner. Let's go ahead and step inside our small home crypto mining shed that has all my fun little goodies and stuff like that in here. And so we do have the SolarX Miner right here. I did have challenges with it originally and did have to have it replaced, but it's been running great ever since. You see the battery right now is at 82% and charging. And honestly, this is one that I've set it and forget it and just allowed the token to go ahead and stack up. It isn't mainnet. Is it making me rich? No, but it's running off of solar and I don't have to do anything. So it's worked out really, really well. I highly recommend it for just a quick passive income Depin project. Another one down here, and it looks just like a computer. I actually turn it sideways because it's got the cool little Deep logo on the side there. Deep is one that I've really liked to get into. It's currently in testnet, which means you're not earning anything off of it except for their testnet token that will get converted over to mainnet down the road here when they do launch. And these deep network miners are pretty much creating a decentralized node infrastructure to run a variety of different things out there. And coming from Node Network, this has been great. Set it, forget it, you power on, you're good to go. I just check it every day to make sure it's online, and that's it. So I'm just slowly stacking as much of that testnet token as I can. Highly recommend this one. This one's been really, really slick. All right, I don't think I have any other, oh, I do have one more in here. Totally forgot. Check out this guy. You're like, all right, what about it? It's a wall outlet. Well, it's actually StarPower. StarPower is a Depin project that utilizes smart plugs to gather electrical information data to be resold out there. And you get rewarded in their Star token, which is in testnet still as well. But you're going to learn very quickly. I love to get into the testnet projects. I think that's where the money is. Not pre-established projects that have been around in mainnet for years, but stuff that's in testnet, because when it does go to mainnet, that's really when you start to be able to reap the rewards. So this one's really, really cool. I've really enjoyed that one. Nice thing is it's a smart plug, so that there's an app with it that you can reboot the plug. You can also check your watts. So as a miner, it's a great avenue to go if you need to know, kind of need a watt meter, which is really convenient. And I have a miner plugged right into it as well. All right, let's step outside here. So what else do we have on the side of the shed here? And how's it been going? All right, up top here, sorry if it's really bright. All right, on the right here, is the Nubula Miner. I think they have the best app for this device, and it's worked out nicely. So it's a solar miner, as you guys can see there, totally powered by solar. I have that mount set up there, and what it does is it actually records ESG data, environmental data, and then they resell this, and that's kind of how this makes money out there. And it's worked out really, really nicely. I can log onto the app, check all the weather, check the information, but it just works, which is nice. That's what I love about some of these Depin projects. Now, the one in the middle is probably one of the cooler ones we're into, which is the Wingbits project. That antenna that you see there kind of looks like a Geodnet, right? That unit actually is tracking aircraft. And if you go onto the Wingbits site, you could check it out. You could see aircraft actively, their locations, and these things report up to like 250 miles, which is pretty wild. And you get rewarded in the Wingbits token, which is currently in testnet. So my SkyX here, that's what this guy is, very similar to the Nubula Miner, a competitor project that is solar as well and is recording that ESG data. And something about this guy actually is I didn't realize it was offline. And I'll show you guys how I found out about that, because that is something that I need to do a better job of, because it's been offline for almost 2 months now, and I had no clue. And I found a great creative way to pretty much, well, I didn't create it, but I'll show you guys this dashboard that we came across that is pretty slick to keep us on our toes with all these Depin projects. All right, so we're on the side of my house here, and I've zoomed in, but you see all the way up there? That is where my Depin journey actually started. So we actually have an original Helium Miner up there. It's actually in my attic. You can see that black antenna off to the side. That is actually where I started my Depin journey with mining helium directly. And that's been fantastic. I've been doing that for years now, and we've gone through earning like the helium token, and then they swapped to the IoT token, and now we're back to helium. And that's worked out great. Set it and forget it, which has been fantastic. We also have a Geodnet Miner up there. Actually, I have another one down the road at Mr. Electrician's house as well. Geodnet works on the RTK network, and that has been fantastic. One of my biggest, close to my top 2 biggest money makers. And then finally, we have a WeatherXM up there, very similar, gathering ESG data. That project is, oh, actually, let me go back. So Helium's on mainnet, Geodnet's on mainnet, WeatherXM is on mainnet. And so WeatherXM's actually been accumulating and been doing well. Nothing too crazy, but better than, you know, zero at all. And then finally, you see the big white unit up there on the mount? That is actually my Helium Mobile. And that is, unfortunately, that's been decommissioned. Now, I've made the most money I have with that project, but let's talk about that a little bit. All right, so talking Helium Mobile. Helium Mobile has actually been my biggest money maker within the Depin space. I got into that very early on, actually bought a unit down in Florida, and I did very, very well. That's actually what kickstarted my ASIC journey, and I was able to go and buy 5 ASIC miners with the rewards. I sold out 50% of my Helium Mobile from that unit in Florida, and also from here when Helium Mobile hit an all-time, high. That was 2 years ago. And that's been amazing, like to be able to roll those profits into the next project there. But the Helium Mobile project actually decommissioned that unit. That's only 2 years old, maybe 3 years old, 2 years old probably, maybe 3. And they decommissioned those and off of their network, which I understand why now, but it's like, dang, it really sucks. So what happens? Well, they actually had a trade-in program. You didn't even have to trade it in. You just had to show proof of actually owning it and mining with it and stuff. And I'll show you here real quick. So they actually have a trade-in program, and they moved away from those buy-sells radios and the Freedom Fi units, and they moved to their outdoor hotspots. So they sent me this one as for the trade-in program. And it's not up yet because you saw how high that was up. That's 40 feet up. I need to rent a lift. Mr. Electrician actually has somebody that has a bucket truck. So we're actually waiting to get access to that so that we can get this reinstalled. Now, does it need to be that high? No, not necessarily, but the rewards are significantly better. All right, we're out in the garage here. Got some GPU miner there, an Avalon Mini 3, and an S19K Pro. We actually have to send that one out for repair. But let's take a look at my car. So another Depin project we've been into for a while now is actually one right here. I know my car's so dirty. Dimo. This is actually the Dimo LTE R1. And this one's been really profitable for me. I have the original one, the AutoPi, in my wife's vehicle, and these have been great. You just set them, forget them, and earn that Dimo every single week. Unfortunately, this project is going to some weird subscription model that's actually forcing you to not only buy the unit, but then you have to go ahead and pay monthly. Now, it's a ways out, so I'm not as concerned, but this one has been profitable, and I am now looking, based off of that news, I am looking for an opportunity to sell my Dimo when I do see it pump again. So there's two other Depin miners that I don't have here that I'm involved with, but they're kind of duplicates. We said we have that Geodnet Miner that's over at Mr. Electrician's house. I do have a WeatherXM and a family member's vacation home as well. And I got a whole bunch of different Depin miners. It's been a blast. I love it. I love diversifying. I love getting into projects when they are in testnet. But how am I keeping track of all these? Because it's not just onesie twosies. We have a number of different projects, a number of different miners. Let me show you how I'm doing it. So one tool that I've really been utilizing over the I'd say last few weeks is there is a website and a dashboard for Depin miners just like you and I. It's called makemoney.io. They actually have a Depin tracker built in with their platform. It's kind of like an overall dashboard for all of your Depin projects. And so the nice thing is it's kind of like a single pane of glass for everything. And I've been using that a lot. That's actually where I found that my SkyX Miner was down. I hadn't kept an eye on it. I'll be honest, we get busy. But when I logged in, I was like, oh crap, this thing's down. I need to take a look at this. So it was nice to be able to see. So I'm going to show you here as much as I can. As you guys know, with a lot of Depin miners, they do have unique names or information that could dox me and my family and things like that. So I'm not going to show everything, but I recommend you guys log in and take a look. So we're over on moken.io. This is the website here, and you can see, I mean, it's got a boatload of different projects. Some of the top projects in here: Geodnet, Wingbits, Deep, Entropy, and WeatherXM. So when you come up here, the nice thing is you can track your miners or you can explore different projects that are out there. So if we look at exploring the different projects, these are all the different projects they support on this platform currently right now. But the nice thing is you can kind of see like what the device price is. So if you're like, I want to get into Depin, but what projects are out there? This is a great spot to start. So in here, you can see the cost of the individual miners for each of these projects. Let's say you want to go with Helium Wi-Fi. You can see there's an indoor and outdoor hotspot. The price is $4.99 or $2.99. And then it shows you the estimated monthly rewards and what that monthly reward is. So like here, that mobile, outdoor mobile hotspot I talked about, I need to get that up and running. Estimated to make $250 a month. Like, come on. It also shows you break even. So it does go through, show that through a lot of these. So some of my more favorite ones that we talked about, Geodnet is out there, Dimo, WeatherXM, anyone Relay Miner. I didn't show you guys that one. I do have that one tucked away in my closet, plugged into my home router. And then we do have Wingbits, SkyX, Nubula Marco Miner, and Deep all listed in here. Now they also do have a forum. So if you guys are really Depin nerds, which I love to see it, they actually have it's almost like an exclusive forum. You just sign up to join on their wait list. You can see there's 50 spots left in their beta. Man, it's crazy to think. Forums. I haven't heard of forums in forever, but I always really enjoyed them. I get lost in them for hours back in the day on video game forums and such. So World of Warcraft. So that being said, you can sign up right over here to be part of the forums, which is really convenient as well. Now, jumping over and taking a look at the tracker. As I said, I can only show so much information in here, but I want to show the value of these trackers and kind of why I think it is important. So this part is one of many dashboards available to keep track of your Depin miners. So here you can kind of see during a time period of July 18th to July 24th, a variety of different projects that I'm in, kind of the top ones, and what the rewards have been. And it shows you this week versus the previous week. And you can even swap it over to US dollar if you're interested. And you can see like, oh, Deep, well, why aren't I earning any? There's no US value to that. Well, because it's in testnet, so there's no direct value to that. But you can see Dimo last week, we earned $4.92, Geodnet $3.93, Helium $3.48. So it definitely will show you a variety of that information, which is nice. Now, this is one of many dashboards out there. There also is a kind of public dashboard, which I'll link down below. You guys can check it out. Because remember, a lot of this information is more sensitive because of the unique names and the Explorer maps and things like that. So you can see over here, it will show you, my 7 different type of miner types that are loaded in here. I got to load a number more of these, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But these are some of the miners that I do have in here and how they've been earning during the time period. In the middle is forum posts. I haven't been accepted into the forums yet, so I haven't made any forum posts in there, but you could see them right in the middle. Now, let's talk about the miners. So I'm going to blur out some of the information on here, but this is really where the value comes in. So all the different projects that I'm in, and I'm missing a few. I'm missing the SkyX Miner. That's why I need to get it in here. I also am missing one of my WeatherXM miners in here. They do not have StarPower and they do not have SolarX, which is a bummer, but you can't have everything. So hopefully they do add those. And our Helium Mobile outdoor hotspot isn't installed quite yet. However, looking here, you can see all my different miners. It shows you the device ID information that is blurred out currently right now. But a big one to look at is operational status. I have one in here, my one Geodnet, it's saying it's critical. So it's like, oh shit, I need to take a look at this. And then it also shows reward performance so that you can see in here, well, like this isn't performing at an optimal level. So you can go in here and take a look to see like, why is it not performing at an optimal level? Well, the miner says 20 point, what X% below average for the network. So that miner isn't performing at the peak of what the rest of the network is. It also shows last token earned and my last reward as well. And you can actually click into each of these projects to deep dive into each of these miners to get even more information out there. So this has been a really cool tool. I've been slowly dabbling into it over the last few weeks. I highly recommend you guys go check it out. It's entirely free. So you don't need to spend any money to utilize this dashboard. I like to call it my single pane of glass dashboard for my Depin projects. Now, this is made by the team over at, or partnered with the team over at Helium Deploy. So if any of these miners you're interested in, they carry all of them over on their website. And I got discount codes for all of these miners, and I'll link them directly down below. Now, finally, if you guys are interested, on my website, thehobbyistminer.io, click on where to buy, top right, and then click on check out trusted brands. When you do that, there's a Depin tab. All the Depin projects that we just talked about today are listed in here with where to buy it and the discount code. But what is even more value is there's videos connected to each one of these. So if you're coming through here, hey, he talked about Geodnet a lot. I want to learn more about that. Oh, look, he has a video on Geodnet. Or, oh, he talked about the Deep Miner a lot in testnet. I'm interested. Oh, you could come here. There's a discount code and there's a video as well. So I highly recommend you go check these out. I'll link them directly down below. As I said, I have places for you to buy and also discount codes. I love Depin. So we talked about a lot today, guys. Would love to get your thoughts on just kind of what Depin miners you're into, which ones have been your biggest wins and which ones have been your biggest L's. Love to learn from you guys as well. Listen, talked about a lot today, talked about a lot of different projects today. Would love to get your thoughts and feedback. I'll leave links to everything directly down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.